For context, I, 24 female, and my best friend, 25 female, have been best friends since we were 2. Now, after high school, I decided that I wanted to go and start my own business, so I got a degree in business management while having a small business on the side. After I finished my degree, my business, I put all of my time, effort, and savings into growing it, which ended up being a very financially rewarding decision for me, as I now own a very successful business. I met my fiancé, 32 male, 4 years ago, and we got engaged last year, but decided to have a long engagement because I wanted to lose some weight, which he said I didn't need to, but was completely supportive of. My fiancé is an orthopedic surgeon, so we're more than well off, especially as we have no plans to have children. Now, after high school, my best friend was doing a degree in chemistry, but dropped out after 2 years when she became pregnant. I was there helping her out emotionally and financially throughout the whole of her pregnancy, as she decided she didn't want to work through her pregnancy and wanted to become a stay-at-home mom, which I totally supported. However, her husband works a 9-to-5 job in an office, which pays enough for them to get by, but not enough to live in luxury. Because of this, me and my fiancé try and help them out the best we can, and always let them borrow money when they need it. We help them with the down payment on their house. However, now that we've started planning our wedding properly, we've got a beautiful venue, an open bar, live music, a 3-course meal. I've got the perfect dress. We're paying for all the bridesmaids' dresses and groomsmen suits, and we've got beautiful little gift hampers for each of the guests to take home. And overall, we went all out, because we can only have this day once. Now, when I was talking to my best friend about this, who was also my maid of honor, she brought up possibly having the same venue for her wedding, which I thought was lovely, but I didn't know if they would be able to afford it. I didn't say that, though. So it was extra awkward when she asked about the price. So I told her it's around $32,000, and she went ballistic, asking how much my whole wedding costs. I really didn't want to tell her, but she ended up getting it out of me, and she went crazy. My whole wedding amounted up to about $72,000, which then sent her on a tangent of saying we're so irresponsible spending that much money on one day, that her husband only earns $60,000 a year to support the 3 of them, and if she knew we had that much money to just throw around, she would have asked us for more when they were struggling financially earlier on this year. She finished with saying that I'm a horrible friend for not helping her out more, and that she was outraged that we thought it was okay to spend more money on one day than her family gets to live off of in a year. I don't think I'm the a-hole, but she's been sending me messages about how inconsiderate I am, so maybe I did go overboard and spend too much. So, am I the a-hole? Update. I feel as if adding that sounded snobbish, but this amount of money on our wedding really didn't put that big of a dent in our bank account due to the savings we've accumulated. And if we wished, we could have spent a lot more, which I'm pretty sure my friend is aware of, and it only adds to her anger. We don't live in a huge mansion or anything, just a moderately sized house in a nice neighborhood, and try not to flaunt our wealth or push it onto people. We never discuss it, and try to digress if the subject is brought up. We donate 10% of our combined earnings to various charities. I saw some people saying the wedding money could have been donated to charity. But I've asked my friend to step down as the maid of honor. I told her she is welcome to keep the dress and any other gifts we've given to the wedding party. But because of her reaction, she's no longer a part of it. And while I do sympathize with her situation, she's not entitled to my financial success, nor is it my fault for her financial instability. I really hope I wasn't too harsh, because she really did help me out a lot over the past year with emotional support when I was having family troubles with my brother and mom. Not the a-hole. She's not treating you as a friend. She's treating you as her bank account. No one has the right to demand you spend your hard-earned money on them. The entitlement of this woman is through the roof. At what point does she believe you became responsible for bankrolling her life? If I was you, I'd take a long hard look at this friendship, followed by a huge step back. Not the a-hole, but please consider distancing yourself from this person. She seems to feel entitled to your money. You and your fiancé have worked for what you have. It's super nice of you to help when you can, but I suggest you stop now. Contributing to their down payment was a hugely kind gesture. Instead of being appreciative, she wants more. Not only that, but she doesn't want you to enjoy the things you have worked to have. So, my brothers, 27 male and 22 male, and I, 26 male, live together in an apartment for which all 3 of us are paying the mortgage and insurance, and our dad paid the down payment. My 22 male brother, who I'll call Max, was told recently that he got his ex, who just popped up a month after their nasty breakup, was pregnant with allegedly his child. She asked to move in with us. Her landlord increased her rent and was somehow getting harder for her to afford food. Apparently, her car has been having engine problems too, and the alarm has been going off at random times. We were instantly suspicious, so I told her directly that she should take an NIPP, non-invasive prenatal paternity test, paid for by us, which is just a blood test from the mother and alleged father, so that we could know for sure that she's right. These tend to cost above $1,000, but I found a location around 40 minutes away that does them more affordably. But she said that she's been suffering from chronic nausea on car trips because of the pregnancy, and she's also deathly afraid of needles. Max says we should take her in anyway, because he doesn't want his child to suffer, in case it is his. The most frustrating thing about Max is that he is too nice and lenient to even those who hurt him deeply. All it takes is a simple apology from someone, and he'll forgive and forget literally anything they ever did to him. This might make him a good member of society, but it's certainly not good for him, and it has been a source of frustration for us. Our dad keeps telling us to look after our brother and to keep him in check so he doesn't get back together with his ex. We don't really mind another person living with us, but at the end of the day, this is about our brother. She's a snake that hurt him deeply and is asking us to do her a major favor without suffering a minor inconvenience for his sake. Of course, the other more likely possibility is she's taking advantage of my brother's kind and forgiving nature to take care of her for the next 6 to 7 months, after which it'll turn out that he's not the father, and she'll say, "Whoops, sorry about that," and leave. Or even worse, not leave, and make us have to evict her. So if she wants our support, she can sell for the 40-minute car ride and the blood test. If she can't do that, tough break, she's on her own. Not the a-hole. If she is pregnant, I think she'd happily get the test. If she is pregnant, she should have seen either her family doctor or an OBGYN doctor for verification, and that very first, very important prenatal checkup. Afraid of needles? Too bad. The doctor will need labs to assure she and baby are healthy. No assistance, no lodging, nothing until she agrees to a paternity test. Not the a-hole. Even if his ex was willing to take the DNA test and prove it's his child, you wouldn't be the a-hole for not wanting her to move in. You signed up for living with your 2 brothers, not his ex and a baby. You've proposed a reasonable compromise. If your brother wants to support her anyway, then he can find his own place to live. It's great to look out for younger siblings, but he's an adult and is responsible for his own choices. Not the a-hole. This is an extremely reasonable request. I think paranoid husbands who want their wives to take paternity tests when there is no particular suspicion of cheating are out of line. But an ex who broke up nasty a month before is a different story. My ex-husband cheated on me with a woman we'll call Violet. This happened numerous times before I finally confronted him, and he admitted they were in love, and that they wanted to be together. But because of our daughter, he felt obligated to me. We ended our marriage and split custody of our daughter. Violet and my ex never married, but she became pretty much like a stepmom figure in my daughter's life. They lived together, to the point where I know Violet loves her like a daughter. Which I am fine with. My daughter having many people that loves her is a good thing. 4 years ago, my ex-husband passed away when my daughter was 7. Violet by her side was a huge help, because she was part of her father's life. Despite the awkwardness and me not really wanting to be around this woman, I sucked it up for my daughter's sake. We did some activities together and she's remained in my daughter's life, taking her out and keeping her at the house she once shared with my ex. Again, I know it helps. I also got her therapy during this time. There were a few times I felt Violet overstepped, and I would be careful about talking to her, because I didn't want to hurt feelings, and I knew it was tricky. Now my daughter is 11. Recently I got a job offer out of state. I have much more family in this area, and it's a more lucrative offer. I know it'll be an adjustment for my daughter, but she's excited to move and make new friends, especially as she'll be starting middle school anyway, so she'd be starting fresh at a new school. I plan to bring her back at some holidays or some random dates to where we currently live, but nothing set in stone. When I told Violet this, she asked if I would be willing to do a custody arrangement of sorts. She wants to take my daughter 1 weekend a month. She'll come and get her, and for a few weeks every summer. I was turned off by this and told her no. I said we'd be back to visit. She said I didn't get how close they had become. I reminded her that while I appreciate that, I don't want to agree to anything permanent. She got really hurt and said this isn't what my ex would have wanted. Am I being an a-hole here? Not the a-hole. Do not put anything in writing getting anyone custody of your daughter. She can still be a part of your daughter's life. She doesn't meet a set schedule. She's overstepping for even asking. Not the a-hole, because you're proposing to go no contact. She's not a parent so much as a much-beloved aunt. You can call her regularly or let them email back and forth, but you don't have a normal obligation to ship the kid off with someone like that. Not the a-hole. That's a bold move by the homewrecker to ask pressure for custody, even partial or limited legal rights to the daughter of the woman whose husband she cheated with. That's a set of steel entitlement balls. Asking to see the daughter is one thing, but asking for actual custody? Bold. My stepmother. I use the term just for here, but to me, she's the woman my dad is married to. Has always wanted a daughter. She has 4 boys with my dad. She was dad's wife to me and my sister. We lost our mom very young, but neither of us were willing to have a second mom. We were both clear about this from the jump. This bothered her, but she decided she would just have babies with dad and get as many daughters as she could. Then, after boy number 4, she was unable to have more, and I remember her telling us she hated us for denying her the opportunity to be a mom to daughters. That we didn't have a mom anymore, and she would have loved us and done anything to be a good mom. Years have gone by since then, and we really don't talk all that much to her, or our dad for that matter. My sister got married 4 years ago, but only invited me and her husband's family. Now it's my turn, and I decided to have a slightly bigger wedding, and because of some pressure from extended family, I invited my dad and his family. Stepmother tried to give me her necklace for the wedding. She said it was something the women in her family wear on their wedding day, and they pass it down. She wanted to be able to pass it down, but I said no to it. This upset her, and then the whole extended family heard about it. Now I'm being told since I invited her, I should be more willing to accept this, even though I invited them because of the pressure put on me to. They told me I should be willing to treat them like family, and be kind, and go out of my way for them as such, and it was cruel to turn down a sentimental item. Am I the a-hole? So not the a-hole. She can't suddenly pretend like you were close, and neither can anyone else. If she wants to hand it down, she can hand it down to one of the women her sons are marrying, if they marry women. You're not obligated to do anything you don't want to do on your wedding day. Not the a-hole. Her poor sons. You invited your father and his wife as a courtesy. They do not get to lay claim on traditions in your wedding when they are there as a courtesy. You're doing the right thing by setting this boundary, as clearly, your father's wife is once again trying to step into the mother role you and your sister have said you were uncomfortable giving her. Familial jewelry is not something to expect from a wedding guest, and that's all she is, unless she keeps up this behavior, in which case I suggest you disinvite her. Your wedding is not the time to be trying to keep other people happy at your own expense. Not the a-hole. She flat out said she hated you and your sister for denying her the right to be a mom to daughters. Sorry, but not sorry. She can pass that necklace down to a future daughter-in-law. My fiancé and I have known each other for 14 years. Almost half of our lives, really. We dated on and off in between those years. I never stopped loving her. When she was 24, she got married to her boyfriend of 1 year, this great guy who she seemed to be really in love with. Of course, I was devastated, because I always thought she'd end up with me. Nevertheless, she invited me to the wedding as a close friend, and I attended. The wedding was a small, intimate occasion. She was so emotional during the vows. She was crying all these happy tears. I still remember how she looked at him, like he was the only person in the world. I remember thinking that she used to look at me that way. The whole day was really bittersweet. I was genuinely happy to see she had found love and happiness. It didn't last, though. They were in a car accident just a month after the wedding, and he died at the scene. She became a widow at just 24. Then, 2 years later, we rekindled our relationship. We got engaged a couple of months ago and are getting married in the spring. Yesterday I went into her office, where she keeps her wedding mood board, for something unrelated, and noticed that she had pinned a cropped picture of her outfit at her first wedding under the headline, Jewelry. She was wearing this diamond necklace with matching earrings. It really didn't sit right with me, so I asked her about it. She said that, yes, she was planning on wearing that set of jewelry as part of her reception outfit, not ceremony, because it just looks better with the dress. I told her that out of all the jewelry she owns, why she has to pick the one she wore at her first wedding. She gave me the same "it fits better" excuse. Am I the a-hole if I put my foot down on this? It really bothers me knowing that there's this connection between her first wedding and our wedding. Edit. She is 29 now. It's been 5 years since her first wedding. We started dating 2.5 years ago. Gentle yes, the a-hole. I don't think she's wrong to want to wear jewelry from her first wedding to her second one. If she was divorced, I'd say that was a little odd, and you might be right to have a problem with it. But she may just be trying to bring the memory of someone she loved and lost with her on this new journey by wearing the same jewelry. It doesn't mean she doesn't love you. You do sound a little jealous of a man who's dead and gone. Might want to work on that. Yes, the a-hole. If it was a divorce and you were worried she still had feelings for the guy, I could see where you're coming from. But the fact that he died a month after they were married, I feel so bad for her. If I had to guess, it's a way of kind of holding on to the memory of him because he was taken so tragically. It's not like you're competing with this guy. He's dead. I really hope you don't confront her about this in the same cold way you're coming across here. You sound better about their whole relationship. Don't take your anger out of not having her sooner out on him or on her.